Hi cuties, we're down here by my bed because I wanted to make this feel like a sleepover. We're sleeping over today, guys. We're gonna do some chitty chats about our 2020 goals. Goals of all sorts. Reading, writing, whatever. We're just gonna chit chat about what we want to see happen in 2020 for ourselves. There's a lot I would like to see from the world, but that's a long, dark discussion, and we're not gonna get into that. So instead, we're gonna talk about me. Because what better topic is there? I can't keep up that persona. Hi! So I want to tell you guys about my goal. Not just to be like, well, this is what I'm doing this year, but to hold myself accountable, for one, because I do have a lot of goals. I may be stretching it, but I think mostly achievable. Some of them are more relaxed goals. Others are, I'm going to do this or I will die. Hopefully not. That's not one of my goals. But let's talk about reading first. The revamping of this channel was more for BookTube. It has been also integrating into AuthorTube world and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know what to classify my channel as. Maybe you can tell me. I'm just here. Hi. But let's talk about the BookTube side of things first. So, big one is, of course, what is my reading goal? How many books do I want to read? That answer, I am shooting for the stars on this one. I want to read 200 books. Why am I that insane? Because I've really gotten into audiobooks. I think I will end up reading a lot of audiobooks this year because of my job. My job kind of allows me every day to at least read 2 hours a day for an audiobook, along with, like, on my breaks I'm reading a physical book, and I always read an hour before I go to bed every night. And I do have a lot of short books on my shelf. I have a lot of books on my shelf that I haven't read yet, but I know will probably be very quick reads, and those are the ones I'm kind of tackling this year. I think 200 is doable. I say that now, but at the end of this year I might react to this video and slap myself across the face. If I do not reach 200 by the end of the year, I will slap myself across the face and try to shake some sense into me. You have my word. 2020 is the year I get way more organized with my reading, and that's coming from the girl who has an Excel sheet to organize the books on her shelf, the ones she doesn't own yet, the ones she's read this year, all color-coded by month. I need to get more organized somehow. But after doing the stats video, I realized I needed to keep track of some other things in order to make preparing that video a lot easier. But this year I got a reading planner. Oh, where is it? Hold on. Reading planner, there it is. Ow! I just like pulled my shoulder. I'm fine. But I have this reading planner. You've seen it in my January TBR video. I intend to use this. So I already have in here my January TBR. January TBR is already written in. I have already made kind of a schedule of themes for the months. Not all the months have themes, and that is due to NaNoWriMo. Thought I'd share with you what I'm gonna do. Feel free to join me on these if you'd like. But January is my Q needs to read the book on her shelves month, and you've already seen that video, so I won't go more into detail with it. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. And February, since it is Black History Month in February, I'm going to be reading books exclusively by Black authors. Also trying to read some Black romances, so I can kind of get a little bit of that Valentine's Day feel in, along with doing more Black History Month books. Not necessarily history, but just celebrating Black authors from all around the world. And then March, as you know, is my own staple month, and that is March of the Indie, where I read exclusively indie books. Audiobooks will probably be more of the January theme, because all the indie books that I read are usually physical copies. I already have like 10 indie books. I'm about to go to a convention, and I'm probably gonna get more while I'm there. We'll see how many I actually get to in March. It's one of my favorite months to read, because I love showing off other indie writers. If you're an indie writer that wants me to read your book, send me a message. Then in April, we have Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna be doing a lot of writing this year. I'll talk about that in my writing goals. So there's no real theme to this. It's just kind of a free-for-all. I might read finally some new releases that I've been waiting to read. It's probably where it's gonna go. We'll see what I end up doing there. So April is whatever you want. And then May, I've decided, is my fairy tale retellings, because I have a lot of fairy tale retellings on my shelf that I have not gotten to yet. Just so many. So I'm dedicating the month of May to fairy tales because I love fairy tales, okay? Always wanted to be a princess. Technically was one at work because we had a dress-up day and they didn't say I couldn't be a princess, so I went as a princess. Here's picture proof of my princessness. I took pictures with little girls who thought I was a real princess. I'm a princess now! And June is going to be my LGBT month, whether it be LGBT characters, LGBT authors, preferably authors, but it could go either way. I have a good mix on my shelves, so I want to read more of those, support those authors as well. And then July is another Camp NaNoWriMo. It's also my birthday month, so I'm gonna read whatever the hell I want to, cause it's my birthday and I get to do what I want, okay? Feel free to send me presents. I don't know what personalities are coming out, but it's really late and I've been filming a lot today. I apologize for me. Then in August, we're gonna get into some classics. I don't read a lot of classics. I did, you know, read a lot of classics in school, but I want to do some rereads of some classics. I would love to do some adaptations as well. So it can be classic or an adaptation of a classic, because boy do I have a lot of Pride and Prejudice retelling books and I should get to them. So that's really what August is about. I want to do a full read through of Anne of Green Gables because love it. And I've never actually finished the whole series, but I want to reread the whole one. Also because I'm really sad about Anne with an E still. And I'll never stop being bitter about that, Netflix, CBC. And then in September, because September was a good month for me this past year, and September always feels so long, I'm gonna read really big books. I've got two right now on my shelves that are well over 700 and 800 pages, and I'm gonna try to get through them. I'm gonna do long audiobooks, long physical books. That's the plan. How many can I do in the long month of September? And then in October, I'm going to attempt to have a good October this year and read my spooky books. I'm gonna read Hocus Pocus, dang it! I didn't get to it this year and I'm so mad at myself for it. Failed reading my 10 books in 2019. I failed it. It was 10 books and I didn't read 3 of them. Just 3! I had 3 more to do and I didn't do it. I am a failure. But not this year. I'm gonna read Hocus Pocus this year. It's the first book I'm gonna read in October. Dang it, so stupid! Ah! And then of course November is the big baby NaNoWriMo. I am not reading any physical books or ebooks in this month. I will strictly be doing audiobooks. I don't care what they are, but I'm only going to be reading them while I'm at work. Don't expect to read a lot in November. If I do, I'm picking very short books, but I will be solely focused on NaNoWriMo in November yet again. It's kind of funny that I only read 5 books in October, but I still read more in November when I was going gung-ho for NaNoWriMo. Like, I took off work for NaNoWriMo and I still read more books than I did in October when I didn't have NaNoWriMo. Hashtag pathetic. And then in December will be the wintry reads slash end of the year scramble where I try to read as many books as I possibly can. This will be where the short books come in. I will just try to get to that goal of 200 unless I've already reached it. And then I'll just be like, read as much as I can to get a better percentage rating on that and really make myself feel proud for getting books done on my shelf, because there's a lot. Saw my book haul. I've got another package coming too. And then I do intend this year to participate in a few more readathons. I don't know all of the ones that I'll be doing because they haven't been released yet, but some of the ones I do want to participate in are, I want to do both Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I've never done them, but people talk about them all the time, and I'd like to see what I can do in 24 hours. I think they're both in April and October. Should be okay, even though April is Camp Nano, but that's more relaxed, so at least it's not November. Then possibly in March is Audiobookathon, which will be fine because March is my March of the Indies. I'll already be doing some audiobooks throughout the month, so we'll see what I can do with that. It shouldn't interfere too much with March of the Indies. This year there was Triwizardathon, and I didn't know about it until it was over, but I really want to participate if they do it again this coming year. I hope they do. And I had such a fun time during the reading rush, even though I was in the middle of my sister's wedding in Ireland. I still participated. I still technically won. This year I want to try to get 7 and 7. I also want to participate in Spookathon. I was going to do Spookathon this year, but October just was bad. We all know this. October was not a good time for me. Then I do want to do Contemporary-a-thon again. I really enjoyed doing Contemporary-a-thon. I read some fantastic contemporary books this year, and I hope to keep up that trend. And I think they do several rounds of Contemporary-a-thon throughout the year, so Contemporary's coming for me this year. It really wants that top spot in my genres. Then we have the Hocus Pocus readathon in October again. There'll be a couple readathons in October, so I'm gonna get my spooky books done. I'm gonna have a good October, whether I like it or not! And then another Harry Potter themed readathon is the Hogwarts House Battles. It seems similar to the Triwizard Tournament, but I didn't get to participate this year, and I want to. I want to do more readathons. I think they're really fun. We'll see how many I get to do. I mean, a lot of these, their dates are not published yet. I just kind of am hoping that they do them. And then new ones may pop up. So those are my reading goals. That was a lot. We're gonna talk about my writing goals this year. I had a kind of 50-50 year with writing. I did write the 4th book in my Ashport series, but I don't like it, and I'm rewriting the whole thing. And that's my 2020 goal, is to finish rewriting Requiem for the Ninisina, which is the 4th book in my series. I'll be spending all the Camp Nanos doing it along with the other months, fixing it, and finally finishing the Ashport Archive series. So that's a major writing goal that I have this year. As well as, hopefully by the time this video is up, I have finished my work in progress that I was working on for NaNoWriMo this year. It's completely separate from Ashport Archives, and it's also one that I want to get published traditionally. So my goal is to query and get an agent this year. I don't know. This is one of those goals where, like, it might just not happen. If I at least start querying, then I will feel like I have achieved that goal, because now I've put myself out there into the literary world and have tried. Because with Ashport, I just wanted to have a book published, so self-publishing was like, boom, easy, done. I didn't even try to query with that one. I feel like maybe I could have. I wanted to kind of check it off a bucket list, and that's where Ashport came from. It was just saying that I made a book and other people have read it. This new book is something I want a wider audience for. I think the characters speak a bit more to a much broader audience than Ashport did. Ashport was really like just for me, whereas this new book is obviously for me. I wrote it, but I want to share it with more people. I don't know. Does that make sense? Does it make me sound conceited? I don't know. But I hope people like it, and I want to try and get it really out there. I'd love to see it in a Barnes & Noble. I'd love to see that. Don't think that will happen in 2020, but in the future. Querying for this book is my 2020 goal there. And the last big writing goal that I have is make audiobooks for the Ashport Archives. I've been researching a lot this year on how to do it. Obviously, I don't have great space here because I have a freaking parrot. You hear him? It's hard enough filming a vlog. I want to find the space to create an audiobook. Hopefully we'll have some audiobooks. So those were my 2020 writing goals. Not nearly as crazy as my reading goals. The other goals for the year, just the Q goals. Last year, I really got into redecorating and DIY. Remodeled an entire room this year for my mother for Mother's Day and her birthday. And this room is a nightmare room that I live in here. I want to do a bunch of new stuff with it. We have a storage room that I also want to transform, and bathrooms. My bathroom is the same exact bathroom as it was in 1991 when we moved into this house. The wallpaper's falling off, the tub is awful, floor is awful, cabinet's awful. It's just awful. And I hate it. Remodeling a lot in this house is a big goal. Because a lot of you be like, shouldn't moving out be one of your goals? It's literally impossible to move out on your own in Colorado now. They've just released what the amount of money you need to make on your own to support yourself in Colorado. And Colorado is basically the new California with rent because all the Californians have moved here. Thanks, guys. And you need to make at least like $26 an hour to afford a base minimum place to live. I do not have a day job that does that. I'd love to move out in the next year, but with what I make, not gonna happen. So I will continue being here with my parents. So if I were to move out, it'd have to be out of state. And I don't particularly fancy doing that, especially with a parrot. Do you want to move to a new state? I am rooted to this spot for the next 20-ish years with him. I do also have some vacation goals. I hope to go back to Japan this year. It may be happening. I'm already saving for it, but an old coworker and I and some other friends all want to have a trip to Japan at the end of 2020. We're not going for the freaking Olympics. Not dealing with that. But we do want to go afterwards. And I'd love to go to Japan, not for work, just for a vacation. I've never done that. It's always been school or a job. I would love to go to Japan, and we also might go to Korea. And also going to Portland. I won't speak a lot about the Portland trip, but it may happen in June. Also saving for that right now. Love a third location to go to this year. I'd love to try and see where else I can go. So if you have any suggestions of where I should go for cheap, then hit me up. And the last 3 goals I have are just some little personal goals. And one is to just be more consistent here on YouTube in general, I guess. To save a lot more money. It won't happen. I'm going to Japan. What am I doing? And to maybe try, and this is really embarrassing to admit on camera, but I'm going to do it anyway. Try to catch me a fella. That seems so dumb. But apparently a lot of people at work think that I already have a boyfriend, and I'm like, I'm glad I give off those vibes, but no. I have not had an SO in a long ass time since like 2010. So I think I might need to start trying to put myself out there instead of hiding in my room on the floor next to my bed talking to a camera. This is just another video that I call myself out on, isn't it? So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I have not had good luck, especially with like online dating in the past. There's so many creepy guys out there, guys. It's so difficult. But on that note, those are my 2020 goals. We'll see what I can do. We'll see how much I can hold myself accountable for that. I guess I have one more goal, and that is to get this jerk to stop being afraid of hands. I've now had Samwise for 4 years. Bird trauma from his previous owner, I mean, it does not easily go away. But I want to try some new tactics. Try to get this bird on my shoulder without him ripping my skin open. That's a big part of this. To just sit and chill, not try to kill me for doing it. That's another goal of mine. He's gonna need a lot of swaddling to get to that point. So please tell me your 2020 goals down in the comments or on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And I'll see you next time, cuties. Bye!